Zenji volunteers continue to provide food to impoverished families in Paraguay. Belgian ambassador became vegetarian and joined Zenji's food care in Malaysia. I'm Sean Scanlan. This is DaAi Headlines. Let's get started. Zenji volunteers in Paraguay continue to care for disadvantaged families despite the pandemic. In addition to providing food to public dining halls and drug rehabilitation centers, volunteers also personally delivered food baskets to remote areas. Here's more. Care for disadvantaged family not only includes a 20-kilogram food basket, but also medicines and nutritional milk powder.
I'm very grateful to the Tzu Chi Foundation. Because of your monthly help with medicine, my wife is recovering very well, and I'm very grateful.
Learning cannot be interrupted as scholarships and vision correction are arranged by volunteers one by one. Rodrigo, who has a problem with the lens in his eye, is in urgent need of a pair of glasses. Monthly regular distributions continue. Even more is given. Tzu Chi care recipient Balgado takes the initiative to reciprocate this love.
There are many people like us who need help. They also have no food to eat. I'm willing to give my love and help those in need.
Those unable to enter the liaison office, volunteers took the initiative to visit care recipients, whether it is elderly living alone or a poor family with 14 children. Volunteers made a special trip to deliver food baskets and brought brand new clothes. Food was brought to a public cafeteria behind the public hospital and also to the door of care recipient houses.
I'm grateful to Tzu Chi for bringing food every month for the family members who need to eat at the hospital and children from poor families who need meals provided.
An international drug rehab center, Remar, not only receives food but encourages people undergoing rehabilitation to be self-reliant, with seeds and fertilizers for a farm is regularly provided by Tzu Chi.
Providing uninterrupted assistance in the form of these food donations are of great help to us.
The pace of good deeds cannot be stopped when facing challenges and great difficulties. We all must move faster and in a more positive direction. Turkish Tzu Chi volunteers continue to care for Syrian immigrant families who are living in difficulties. One of them is a grade 5 student who is determined to grow up to be a good person like Tzu Chi volunteers. A care recipient who is over 60 years old has kept all the envelopes that Tzu Chi sent to him in the past 6 years and treated them as precious gifts. Take a look.
سوريا بخير احنا بخير
اخذ خيراتها ويجيني مصاري بها واحتفظ بها يعني كذكرى
من اول وحده
من اول يوم لهلا ما بتلفها.
In this thick stack of envelopes, the earliest day is October 2nd, 2016.
2015 كنت اخذ بلا ظروف.
In 2015, Tzu Chi sent me a cash card directly. Since 2016, the gifts were all sent in these envelopes. Tzu Chi represents love, friendship, and kindness. Volunteers help people in need. This is a great blessing.
Tzu Chi has been caring for Syrian refugees in Turkey.
This is a sincere gift. Tzu Chi Foundation is willing to offer you kind assistance.
These watery eyes, in fact, could barely see. Fadia, a 6-year-old girl, her surgery for a brain tumor was failed, leading her to blindness.
When the doctor tried to remove the tumor for her, both the optic nerve and thyroid were affected.
In this family, the mother was the school principal in Syria. Her husband was lost in contact in a civil war. She took the children and flew to Turkey alone to work as a cleaner.
I was able to pay the rent with Tzu Chi's help. I always pray for you with my kids.
My dream is to be a dentist. This is also my mother's expectation on me.
My mom, you are very nice.
For me, you are a very nice person. When I grow up, I also want to be like you, be a good person to help others.
على هاي المدرسة وبتشكره على كل شيء اللي هو.
These three families have left their home country. Yet, with Tzu Chi's care, they are slowly gaining a sense of belonging in a new place.
A number of Afghanistan refugees have arrived safely in the United States, and with the help of the United Nations, they've been temporarily placed in states such as Wisconsin, West Virginia, and Texas. Tzu Chi helped with their arrival with initial assistance, including 1,000 packs of necessities. Meanwhile, Tzu Chi U.S. headquarters is also preparing first aid kits for quake victims in Haiti.
The goal for these next 2 days is to prepare 10,000 packs of first aid kits. As for the past few weekends, volunteers here have been worried about Haitian quake victims.
In Haiti, the first batch of first aid kits have been released from customs, and in total, 6,545 packs will soon be delivered to the front lines. I believe this news will be such encouragement for the volunteers here assembling the following first aid kits, as initial packs have safely arrived and will soon be given to quake victims.
Love from Tzu Chi continues as the headquarters received an invitation to work with the United Nations and the federal government to provide assistance to the Afghan refugees arriving in the United States.
Each distribution bag will contain one blanket, one scarf, and a family first aid kit. Will also include Tzu Chi Monthly magazine, as well as words of blessings from the master and well wishes of global volunteers. Today, we're planning to put together 1,000 packs to send to the first group of Afghan refugees arriving in Wisconsin.
Included in the envelope will be cards made by the students at the Tzu Chi Academy, welcoming the refugees, greeting them just like they would family and friends.
The Tzu Chi Teachers Association has been established for 30 years now. It's comprised of enthusiastic teachers, retired teachers, and volunteers from all over Taiwan. In some schools, through the teaching of Jingsi aphorisms, one sentence can motivate students, enable them to overcome difficult times. Take a look.
1、2、3，对不对？那下面就读。
Kaohsiung Sanling DaAi Park has a special after-school class.
因为孩子是
Because children are the hope of our society and community, all of these Shenlin children are the future hope of Shenlin DaAi Park.
There is no charge for tutoring, and the teachers are also volunteers. For more than 10 years, these teachers have persisted in their work even more than the children.
譬如说下雨天呐，人数就
For example, when it's raining, the number of students who attend is very small. Sometimes they are in a good mood or they are in a bad mood. They will choose by themselves to come.
我都觉得来一个就是一个。
The Tzu Chi Teachers Association was established in 1992. The cause was promoted for 2 years in a taxi with 3 teachers and passengers who came up with the idea accidentally.
那计程车司机转过头来说：“你们都是老师吗？”
The taxi driver turned his head to us and asked if we are all teachers. I said yes. He said that he hates teachers and is really unlucky to drive these teachers today. We asked him why you hate teachers so much. He said that when he was in elementary school, the teacher was very bad, and then the teacher would beat students. We said that he was just talking about old teachers, but nowadays teachers are not like this. He said, my child's teacher is worse. This teacher plays the stock and the lottery.
It was a crazy era in Taiwan as stock trading became a national movement. Everyone went crazy with the pursuit of money. How to reverse an individual's negative perception to teachers? This was a big question, and the answer is actually quite simple.
我一定要把老师组织起来。
I must organize a teachers' association and let them benefit from some of Tzu Chi's spiritual ideas to make themselves better. And then he can also make the people around them better. The important thing is that he can teach healthy and happy children.
他可以教出健康快乐的孩子。
96年我
In 1996, I participated in Teachers Association training. My mother passed away that year, so I was very, very sad. I totally rely on Master's Dharma teachings and Jingsi aphorism to heal myself. When I'm in a composition class, I will continue to interpret Jingsi aphorism in the course. I want to embed this in hearts of young children and I want them to be very happy people in the future.
我们这句近似好话是什么？来念给大家听。
对别人好等于说也是对自己好。
我可以在
I can share good ideas with students in class or plant good seeds. This is because I just want to do it and take care of my children's fate.
顾好孩子的慧命。
Written on a piece of paper, these Jingsa aphorism study sheets aren't just a part of a calendar to help them remember the years.
I will increase personal empathy, but it will make me think about more things such as how hard my mother works. So, if I can, I will try to help my mother with housework. Otherwise, I will take care of my sister.
This picture is of the Early Teachers Association. Yes, what are we doing in this picture? This one is of a meeting where I am teaching them. Although my voice is not good, I love to sing very much.
老师心，菩萨心，灯传灯心连心。
用父母心来看待你的学生吼，那你的学生若拢教好呢，这就是咱的社会的希望吼。所以社会的将来，伫恁的经甲头面吼。
The Belgian ambassador to Malaysia, Pascal Gregoire, and his wife gradually became vegetarians many years ago. Recently, he participated in Zenji's food care distribution in Syrian and shared with residents the concept of being vegetarian, protecting the earth, and respecting life. Here's more.
Listening to volunteers' explanation of doing recycling to save the earth, the Belgian ambassador to Malaysia, Pascal, visited the recycling and education station in Sudan New Village. He also participated in the food care distribution and promoted vegetarianism simultaneously.
This is a win-win situation, and also we respect ourselves. Of course, it takes some time. It took some time for me. My wife has been vegetarian for many years before me. Everybody has his own path and his own time, but there is no time to waste. And this is why I think it is important in time of pandemic also, which allow us to think a bit all these issues, what is important for a better world, what is important for a better human.
Volunteers' action on vegetarianism promotion has inspired members of the public to try going meatless. Their bodies have changed a lot within a month.
My initial weight was more than 120 kilograms, but now I only weigh 109. I don't get tired easily and be out of breath like before. My belly is a little smaller as well.
Sudan held the 8th consecutive food care distribution to provide dry goods and supplies to those in need.
We have helped a lot of people. Many people lost their jobs. For some people, none in the family has a job and are facing financial difficulties.
Volunteers distributed food in time to alleviate the food shortage problems of many families during the pandemic.
Under the pandemic, remote learning has been challenging for disadvantaged families, as some may not have the proper electronic equipment to learn remotely, causing them to fall behind in their studies. Zenji Kuala Lumpur and Selangor chapter and Malacca chapter are helping the best they can by providing computers for students from poor families. Take a look.
The boxes of mobile phones on the table are to help disadvantaged students with their learning equipment. Tzu Chi volunteers are at Serdang Tamil Elementary in Selangor to give needy students cell phones.
Under the pandemic, students are having issues with remote learning, mainly because they don't have the ability to go online.
To help the students keep up with their studies, Tzu Chi Kuala Lumpur and Selangor chapter have since July enacted a project called e-caring, as they hope to provide needy students with proper electronic equipment.
My 3 children use one phone to go online, and one child could only use the phone for 1 hour. No one can finish their homework at all this way.
Also helping poor students with remote learning are the Tzu Chi volunteers from Malacca, who have been giving disadvantaged families tablet computers and secondhand computers, so the students may study without problems at home.
Many of the families we visited didn't have a computer, or if they had a computer, they didn't have internet service. So this time, we're providing them with a computer and internet service.
Before the pandemic, we had class in person, but now many of the courses are remote learning, and I need a computer. Thank you, Zenji, for giving me a laptop. It's so much easier for me to do my coursework, as I don't need to borrow one from my classmates anymore.
The Love of Society ensures students have the capability to keep up with their learning despite their financial situation.
In Geelong, an 85-year-old senior ran a food stall near a temple, but after her son and daughter-in-law passed away, she couldn't bear to throw away any of their belongings, even if it is useless. After suffering from a stroke, she's unable to clean the house, as she's home is filled with items. Since Tzu Chi volunteers got to know the senior at a hospital, after the pandemic slowed down, volunteers made a trip to visit her. But after discovering the poor living condition for recuperation, a cleaning mission was initiated. Here's more.
The entire living room is filled with items. Even furniture becomes a place to store items. 85-year-old Senior Hong suffered a stroke 7 months ago, as she was hospitalized for a while. After returning home, it's hard for her to clean up her living space, causing the mess volunteers see now.
Her son and daughter-in-law passed away. She misses them. She says that these items belong to my son. Don't throw it away. But actually, these items are no longer usable. Yet she keeps on piling it up.
Tzu Chi volunteers got to know the senior at the hospital, and as the pandemic slowed down, volunteers made visits to her home. They discovered her living environment isn't suitable to recuperate her illness. Therefore, more people arrived to clean the household.
Actually, most people are very fortunate. They should be satisfied, not demand too much.
Compared to them, we are actually living a good life. I receive so much help from others, and my family members are very loving towards me.
Volunteers moved out broken furniture and cleared out unused items, leaving more space inside the home for Grandmother Hong's family.
She doesn't listen to anyone, but after Tzu Chi's sisters arrived, she started to listen and change her mind about cleaning. With the larger space, children can study and she can move around easily.
I'm happy. The entire living room is bigger and is no longer cramped. I can do a lot of things there.
Losing her dearest family members, Grandmother Hong suffers both in health and mental state. But with support from Tzu Chi volunteers, she is now healing, getting back on track.
Mr. Shi, who lives in Tainan, has to lie in bed because of a fall before. Suffering from liver disease, he is too skinny to move. Tzu Chi volunteers helped him clean his home and delivered an electric bed so that Mr. Shi can recover comfortably and resume his normal life as soon as possible. Take a look.
This little space is messy. Mr. Shi, who is in his 50s, can only stay in bed currently because of liver cirrhosis and a fall before.
My tummy is very hard. It's filled with ascites, which need to be pumped out. It's hard for me to eat, very painful.
He is getting worse. In the past, he could move around with crutches, but now he's just skin and bones.
So the volunteers help him clean his house and also send him an electric bed. Lying on a clean and comfortable electric bed, Mr. Tzu couldn't wait to try it by himself.
Now it's easier for me to eat.
Volunteers carefully adjusted the furniture and put items around his bed so that Mr. Tzu can reach them easily.
Although the borough chief has arranged a meal delivery service for him in the past, he's not able to swallow the food now, so he asked us to buy him some biscuits, which can easily dissolve, for him to eat.
Thank you, Tzu Chi sisters.
With a new bed and gratitude, Mr. Tzu is happy. Tzu volunteers will keep on caring for him so that he can resume normal life as soon as possible.
It's that time of year again for Tzu Chi, where red envelopes of blessing and wisdom are being assembled for the upcoming year-end ceremony. The medical staff at the Hualien Tzu Chi Medical Center were among the first batch of people to see and assemble the envelopes as they hope to spread this affinity to more corners of the world. Here's more.
The theme of Tzu Chi's red envelope of blessing and wisdom this year is peace from compassion and kind-heartedness, to remind everyone during these pandemic times that it's important to protect all living things.
This year, there are lots of animals. Do you see them? Just like learning from Buddha and the Enlightened One Spirit, we must comfort the earth and protect sensuous beings.
The medical staff at the Hualien Tzu Chi Medical Center volunteers to help while this surgeon is finding his detailed hands to be very useful right now.
The sister is a good, firm teacher. If I didn't do it right, she would ask me to remove it and redo it. Now my lines are straight.
做了有没有什么心得？就是要把心静下来，然后才可以把菩萨对好，然后才会端正。可以把我们自己的一份。
We are adding our blessings into each red envelope so that when the person receives it, they will feel the love we have added into each.
The 3 rice grains represents the 3 lessons of Buddhism: following precepts, meditation, and growing wisdom. These first envelopes are heading overseas.
We are sending them to Mozambique.
3年前没有
3 years ago, before the pandemic started, we went there to host free clinics. This year, we hope with the Master's blessings that the virus can ease and that their suffering ends.
也远离这个苦难。
The first batch of 5,000 red envelopes of blessing and wisdom are made earlier than the rest, as they are heading to overseas Tzu Chi points to ensure on-time delivery.
Tzu Chi volunteers in North Toronto, Canada have long cared for the Hesperus village for the elderly. In May and June last year, they visited and held outdoor concerts. This year, more events are planned when the COVID vaccination rate exceeds 80%. And volunteers can finally send their love and enthusiasm to these seniors. We leave you with these images. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.